Do you want to do the video or do you want to do the phone?
I'd rather do the phone. All right. Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is McCracken Circuit Court. I think we've still got people coming in here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it would be very much appreciated if you'd go ahead and mute your microphone so I'm not hearing background noise. I'm talking to other people. I apologize for being late today. I had to return indictments and motion hour ran late this morning and I just finished returning indictments. So now we're starting pretrial conferences. Please listen carefully for your rights. Well, and before I do your rights, let me tell you that the purpose of the pretrial conference is to determine whether you're going to take the Commonwealth's recommendation and plead guilty or whether we're going to set your case for trial. Please listen carefully for your rights. You have the right to remain silent and your silence cannot be used against you. You have the right to a trial by jury. At the trial, you would have the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses against you, the right to compel your own witnesses to come in and testify on your behalf. You have the right to require the Commonwealth to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If you are convicted at trial, you would have the right to appeal your conviction to a higher court. You have the right to be represented by an attorney of your own choosing. If you are unable to afford an attorney, the court will appoint one for you. If you plead guilty today, more future charges against you may be treated more seriously. The court can reject a plea agreement at any time. If it were to reject the plea agreement after you've pled guilty, however, you would be allowed to withdraw your guilty plea and the case would be filed. Some offenses are expungable. That means wiped off your record. You can speak to your attorney to see if any of the offenses with which you are charged might be expungable. If you have any questions about your rights or the proceedings today, please make sure you ask them when your case is called. First call today is Commonwealth versus Cedric Lucius, 20 CR 770.
Good afternoon, Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Mr. Lucius.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. All right, and do we have Mr. Lucius here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, he's
Okay.
at the podium.
I see him. All right, Mr. Wilson, what are we doing today?
Judge, we'd like to go ahead and have the competency hearing if that's possible.
That is not possible. I have too many pretrial conferences to do. I can't have a competency hearing today. If you want a competency hearing, it'll have to be done at a later time.
I understand. If we could go ahead and calendar that, I think we have Dr. Allen with us. I would have to defer to his calendar if at all possible.
Good afternoon, Dr. Allen. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I very much appreciate your patience today.
No problem. Yeah, what weeks are we looking at?
You're on.
June the 24th at 1:30.
Monday afternoons, I'm in clinic. That's
This
like,
is June the 24th is a Thursday.
oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong month. Oh, there you go. June the 24th would work. Yes, sir.
Actually, let's see. The jail has prelims then.
Okay.
So
Levi and Mark are together.
So Mondays are
What
the
it
only.
says. It says Levi
available
Moore.
material.
Yeah, Monday afternoons are
Oh, can you
hard day for me. Most other afternoons work.
Okay, thank you, sir. About June the 2nd at 1:30.
Yes, sir. I can make that work.
It-
And that's
And if-
1:30 Central Time because I'm,
It is Central Time. Yeah, everything I say is in Central Time.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. I'll make it work.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Okay.
If I may, Dr. Allen, do you need another subpoena issued for that date or?
I guess we do at KCPC for their paperwork and for their calendar.
Yes, sir. I'll send that out later this week, or sorry, next week.
All right. So
Judge, you said the second at 2, Judge, was that right?
At 1:30.
1:30, okay.
I'm going to go ahead and continue the pretrial. We're having to reschedule all our June pretrials. So right now I'm going to put it on July the 19th, but that if we get a date in June, I'm happy to reschedule it for a June one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Allen.
And
Right.
Mr. Lucius, I'll come by early next week to see you and we'll talk about everything, okay?
Yeah, 9.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay. Commonwealth versus Robert E. Gaines and Chelsea B. Emery, 20 CR 626. Mr. Gaines has another case, 20 CR 634.
Your Honor, Miss
Emery's
Emery
got
has,
another. She's got
Miss Emery
3
has,
cases.
that's right, Judge.
Okay, so she's got 2 more, 20 CR 624 and 20 CR 882.
And
All these
Judge
guys.
Hayden Wilson on behalf of Miss Emery.
All right, what are we doing with Ms. Emery's case?
If I may, Your Honor, Miss Emery, if I could just address her briefly, I've got an offer, a tentative offer in for Mr. Jones. We did not have the paperwork prepared, so I did not get to come see you and try to execute that, but it was consistent with our earlier conversation. So I'd like to pass these, Judge. I think we'll end up having a plea in all 3 of hers.
Okay, that's going to be July the 19th at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m.
It'll be next week, Miss Emery, before I get to see you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and Mr. Gaines, who represents Mr. Gaines?
John Straub, and he is in Green River.
Hey, how you doing? I'm good. You carry Eagle cigarettes? Eagle brand. Full flavor short, 1 pack. Yes, ma'am.
Do we have Mr. Gaines online?
He's under Timothy Lee, I believe.
Lee, okay.
Okay, and then the
All right, do you want a continuance as well, Mr. Straub?
I believe so. Mr. Gaines, did you hear what happened with the previous case? I think you're muted. We can't hear you. Still muted. Well, I think we just need to keep them together, Judge.
Okay. That will be July the 19th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
All right, Commonwealth versus Lawrence Keith Webb, 20 CR 272. Mr. Webb, I believe, is in the Cape Girardeau County Jail. Who represents Mr. Webb?
Yeah, Mr. Webb, Your Honor.
Do you know how long he's going to be there, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, I spoke to him recently. It's going to be at least till June. So if I could get a July date, I think that would help us a lot.
Very well, July the 19th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, I think we need to get out 1:30 because
Okay.
9 was at arraignments. That's quite good.
Commonwealth versus Anthony Geron Pass Jr. and David D. Wyatt II, 20 CR 860.
Yes, I'm here.
And who's he?
Your Honor, yeah, Your Honor, this is Audrey Lee. I represent Mr. Pass.
John Straub, Mr. Wyatt.
Okay, and Mr. Pass is online.
Yes, sir.
Where's Mr. Wyatt?
Right here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wyatt. All right, what are we doing with this case, ladies and gentlemen?
Your Honor, I've looked through, we have a lot of DVDs in the file. and they're all body camera and interviews. The discovery references a DFU exam, which I believe is a digital forensic exam of the 4 phones that were seized. I didn't see that in our file, and we've reached out to the Commonwealth to see if they have it in their file. I don't know if they have it or not, but that's something we're
Still
probably
waiting.
gonna need
Yes,
to
yep.
locate because it's got a lot of significant evidence on it.
Yes, Your Honor, my understanding from talking to the Commonwealth is that we're still waiting for some more discovery.
Okay. August the 25th at 9 a.m. Can we please be ready to go then?
August the 25th at 9 a.m. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You need to do this. Do we have any detention centers besides McCracken County online?
Shawnee County, Kansas.
Stephen Rule.
Okay, and I couldn't hear, what county is that?
Shawnee County.
Defendant.
I heard his name is Rule.
Thank you. Should be 2 of them.
There's 2.
There's 2 right there. Thank you very much. Commonwealth versus Stephen Matthew Rule. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
John,
Okay.
John Straub for Mr. Rule.
What are we doing with Mr. Rule's case, Mr. Straub?
I believe Mr. Rule is requesting a jury trial date. Is that correct, Mr. Rule?
Yeah, or we could, or a continuance for the moment.
Well, either one, Judge. I think he wants a continuance, but we're also ready to accept the date as well. Whatever.
Well, if there's a chance that there's going to be a plea entered or an impeachment rate, if you can tell me that in good faith, then I'll continue it. But if there's not, if you just want to take it out, then I'm not going to do that. We'll just set it for trial.
I suppose it's always possible it could settle. I just have no indication that it's going to at this point. That I don't have any indication that the offer is going to get any better. So we might need to go ahead and accept a date.
Okay. Just 1 or 2 days.
I would say maybe 1.
1 day, Judge.
Also, I was curious about the warrants. I was incarcerated when I failed to appear on November 12th, I believe.
I think we submitted an agreed order on that today. I don't know if it's going to be signed though. With
Oh, for the bail jumping charge?
your jail paperwork. It won't be in your file yet, Judge. We just submitted it today.
Is this going to be a trial date for both cases, or?
No, it'll be a trial day for one case, sir.
Which case is this exactly?
This is the charge of theft by unlawful taking of an automobile and theft by unlawful taking under $500.
Just want to put on record, he may be PFO eligible and we will indict if he is before trial.
Do you still want to accept the trial date, sir? Mr. Rule?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Set November the 24th, it will be second on the docket.
That works for the Commonwealth, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Now, what's going on with my other case? What?
And the bail jumping, that'll be, I don't like to review those typically, but I'll review that at the conclusion of this case unless Commonwealth wants to do something or the parties.
Don't I have a fleeing and eluding and a possession case too, or?
Not on today, Mr. Rule. I don't know if you have other cases like that.
Thought they were all combined.
I have on today.
All right, thanks.
All right, is there anybody else from any other, do we have any other detention centers online? Okay, Commonwealth versus Candace Overby, 20 CR 884, 20 CR 608. Do we have the other two? Just her.
This is Audrey Lee, and I represent Miss Overby.
Okay, and it looks like Ms. Overby wants to plead. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, we have turned in paperwork on both of her cases.
I see it. Thank you very much. Ms. Overby, would you raise your hand, please, ma'am?
Judge, this is contingent upon all pleading.
Okay. Who else? Who else do we? Okay.
James Mason and Anthony Thurston.
No, it's not contingent because there are bench warrants out for them. I'm not going to hold her up. I don't know when we'll get a hold of Mr. Thurston, if ever. So if you want to put in something here that, well, I guess
Judge, then I would just ask that she be required to testify truthfully in any case against the co-defendant.
and that's a reasonable request. Okay, Ms. Overby, raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Do you swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Candace L. Overby, 8/1793 and 2230 Monroe Street.
Is that in Paducah?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Overby, did you read and understand everything on your motion or guilty plea forms and the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form in both of your cases?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear and understand the rights I read to you at the beginning of court today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation today and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, in case 20 CR 608, you're charged with first degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, a Class D felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class A misdemeanor. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is recommending an 18-month sentence on the possession of meth, 12 months for the possession of drug paraphernalia. Those would run concurrently for a total of 18 months in that case. It'd be consecutive with any other case. You'd have to forfeit all items seized, and I would add a requirement that you would have to testify truthfully at any court proceeding involving this case.
Okay.
Do you have any difficulty with that?
No, sir.
Okay. Then on your other case, there's a bail jumping. Sentence is 1 year. That'd be consecutive. So the total sentence you're signing for today is 2.5 years. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Lee concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak with her now?
No.
Do you believe that she's aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with her performance?
Yes.
Case 20 CR 608, how do you wish to plead to the charges first degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, and possession of drug paraphernalia?
Yes.
In case 20 CR 884, how do you wish to plead to the charge first degree bail jumping?
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will today?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No.
Do you have mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
No.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes.
It's alleged that on or about July the 22nd of 2020 in McCracken County, the sheriff's detectives observed a vehicle with a canceled registration and conducted a traffic stop. The vehicle was operated by Anthony Thurston. You and James Mason were passengers. Thurston's operator's license was suspended.
To do that.
Detectives were given consent to search the vehicle. The search revealed 2 syringes containing methamphetamine behind the middle of the bench seat. The bench seat could be accessed by all occupants in possession. Is all that true?
Yep.
It's also alleged that on or about November the 12th of 2020 in McCracken County, you intentionally failed to appear for your arraignment in indictment number 20 CR 608. Is that true?
Yes.
Ms. Lee, do you know of any reason why Ms. Overby's guilty pleas would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Court does accept the guilty plea as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. Good luck, Ms. Overby.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Audrey K. Dunn, 20 CR 806, 20 CR 850.
Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Ms. Dunn. And Judge, I think both of these are co-defendants.
Dunn is, we've only got Dunn on the 806.
Okay,
The others have co-defendants, but I'm not calling them quite yet. What's going on with, what's
I understand.
Dunn's
Judge, we, to my knowledge, we haven't gotten an offer yet in the greater of the 2 charges. The greater of the 2 cases. We were looking forward to negotiating that. We're going to need some more time, frankly, to do just that.
Did the Commonwealth extend an offer?
Hadn't had any discussions with Mr. Wilson on this one. Had some on the other cases, but not on this one.
So it was Commonwealth's intention to try it?
No, I was intended to talk to him about whether he wanted to settle it or not.
We were hopeful to settle it, Judge. It's just been something we just didn't get to, I guess. It's not for want of trying. I'm not standing here, faulting the Commonwealth. It's more so saying, hey, there is something to be said about negotiating this, and she's got a B felony that she's facing, from my understanding, and so we are certainly hopeful to do just that.
All right. Well, Ms. Pascal's got a pretrial on May the 28th.
Okay, if we could put those together, that'd help too.
I agree.
28th at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge. And I'll be to see you again, Ms. Dunn.
When is that again?
May the 28th. It's getting put back on for a pretrial May the 28th. I'll come see you between now and then. Okay.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
still have another case in here, right? Or-
Yes, there's another one which I also suspect will get passed for that date.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Judge.
we've got complications with that one. Michael Arrowwood is a defendant in the second case, co-defendant with Ms. Dunn, and we've got an order for his evaluation, which I'm sure won't be done anytime soon. And we've got Donald Mark Hannon and Danielle Sherrill. Do we have all those? Huh?
Yes, Your Honor.
I represent Ms. Cheryl. We really haven't. Of course, I know I don't have anything. I don't have anything to work with. I have an offer, but I think.
Is Ms. Sherrill online, or is she in the jail?
I don't know, but she has an offer, but these are all co-defendants. It's all 4 of them. So I don't know if they were taking them all together or what, but she does have an offer. I don't know if she's online.
She's posted bond.
Okay, so is Ms. Sherrill online? Danielle Sherrill? All right, we're going to issue a bench warrant for Ms. Sherrill. So who's there in the jail? What's your name, sir?
And
Mr. Hannon. Okay, and you wanted to plead guilty today.
Yes, sir.
What's Commonwealth's position on Mr. Hannon pleading guilty today?
Judge, I'd like to get all these together, but if you want to go forward, I would ask for no less than agreeing to testify truthfully in any matter against any co-defendants in this case.
Well, because Mr. Hannon's sitting in jail, and and then one of the co-defendants has to be evaluated, and that's going to be another 2 months. I don't think it's fair to keep him sitting in jail
Your Honor,
while these other cases going on.
Your Honor,
Who's saying?
this is Michael Arrowood.
Okay.
And I was trying to get, instead of being evaluated, I was trying to see if I could get drug court.
Okay. Well, no, you have to be evaluated. That's not an option.
For drug court, I do?
No, for your competency, because the issue's been raised and now it has to be decided.
Okay, all right. Where do I go to have that done?
Well, you haven't been contacted yet, so I don't know. They'll have to contact you. So
Okay.
Mr. Arrowood's pretrial conference is continued. I'm gonna have to continue that 60 days. June 19th at 9, or July the 19th at 9.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to let Mr. Hannon plead guilty today if he wants to plead guilty. Mr. Hannon, did you want to go ahead with your plea?
Yes, sir.
Would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Donald Mark Hannon, 48 9th Street, Wickliffe, Kentucky. 42887.
Okay, and you told me your date of birth already?
32791.
Thank you. Mr. Hannon, did you read and understand everything on the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form and the motion or guilty plea form?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear and understand the rights I read to you at the beginning of court today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's offer today and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
So you're charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, Class A misdemeanor, and first-degree possession of controlled substance methamphetamine, second offense, a Class D felony. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is recommending a 12-month sentence on the paraphernalia, 18 months for the methamphetamine, total of 18 months. This would be concurrent or consecutive with any other sentence you might have in any other indictment. You'd have to forfeit all items seized, and you would have to testify truthfully at any proceeding involving your co-defendants in this case.
Yes, sir.
Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who is your attorney, Mr. Hannon?
John Johnson.
Mr. Hannon, have you had the opportunity enough time to speak with Mr. Johnson concerning your charge or charges and any possible defenses that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with him now?
No, sir.
Do you believe that he is aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charges? Possession of drug paraphernalia and first-degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, second or greater offense.
Guilty?
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Do you have any mental problems now?
No, sir.
Or have you had any in the past?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that on or about October 30th in McCracken County, and that was of October 30th of last year, drug detectives executed a search warrant at 208 Iowa Street in reference to an illegal drug operation. The Audrey Dunn arrived at the residence in a vehicle. Located in the vehicle was a glass pipe. Well, these facts look like they're for Audrey Dunn. They don't look like they're for Mark Cannon. Did you arrive at the residence in a vehicle when they're there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Hannon? Maybe they just put the wrong name there. Oh, the defendant and Audrey Dunn. Okay, I just read it wrong. My mistake. Okay, so is that true? What I read, is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, do you know of any reason why Mr. Hannon's guilty plea would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No.
Court accepts the guilty plea is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered, sentencing July the 8th at 9 a.m. And so all other co-defendants are continued until July the 19th.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
when I had asked for the evaluation, I was starting my medications back up. They've got me leveled out on my right medicines now. So, I mean, I understand everything.
Well,
So
once the question's been raised and I order an evaluation, the evaluation has to be completed. I can't take any action in the case until it's decided.
okay.
So that
All
is
right.
decided.
All right, I understand.
Now, Mr. Arrowood is continued until July the 19th at 9 a.m. Let's see, Miss Dunn, I put her on May the 28th. Mr. Hannon's pled guilty. And what did Miss Cheryl want to do?
Bench warrant.
Oh, that's right. She wasn't there, so the bench warrant for her. Okay, we got everybody then. Crass's other file. Commonwealth versus Samantha M. Windsor and Roger Dale Crass.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Windsor, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Scott Markham for Miss Windsor.
Yep.
Judge, I believe Peyton represents the co-defendant, Mr. Crass.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge, that's right. I've got Mr. Crass's case.
Okay, Mr. Markham, what are we doing with Miss Windsor's case?
Mr. Jones and I discussed this case earlier today, and we would like to set it. She's got a trial set, I think, August 26th. She's got 3 separate possession cases, and we'd just like to put them all on the same date with the potentially either try one or resolve them all at the same time.
Say August the 26th, she has a trial?
I believe so.
Judge, I show August 23rd.
Okay, that
August 23rd.
whatever that date was.
Yeah. And she is second on the docket on that day. I'll set these for pre-trials in September the 20th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And Mr. Wilson, what did you want to do with Mr. Crass?
Judge, he's got another bail jumping that I think I filed a motion, which was on your motion out earlier today, that will get disposed of by other means. Additionally, there's a Graves County case that has come up that is a more substantive charge than the ones he's facing here. If it's possible to give him a date out in July so that we can circle the wagons, kind of let the dust settle with the bail jumping and see what happens in Graves, I think we'd be in a better position to meaningfully negotiate these out with the Commonwealth. I do think that please on the horizon, we just have to be able to see what's going to happen there.
No, sir. My case in Mayfield is waiting on me to get my cases here resolved so that I can make my bed date in rehab before they go any further. They had me on a $5,000 unsecured bond to make that bed date. So that is not an issue. The Mayfield case is not an issue.
I disagree with you, Mr. Crass, and I'm not trying to say that out of turn, but it's a larger charge. And so be that as it may, with respect to the bond, the bail jumping indictment here is going to make it very difficult for you to make that bond, especially with 2 $10,000 cash bond charges here on those bail jumpings. That's why I'm saying again, I think it's more prudent to try to deal with those before we start, trying to shake out if we can get you into rehab.
I'm not talking about the bail jumpers. I'm talking about the case in Mayfield. They're waiting on me to get some kind of reservation here so that I've already let out to make a bed date in Mayfield. So the charges in Mayfield have no bearing on anything here. I just have to get these charges taken care of so that I can move forward. I got bench or a fugitive for another state warrant coming out of Indianapolis, which I signed an IED on, and I'm waiting on them to come pick me up. But I'm trying to get all of this resolved so that I can make it to a bed date, regardless of me having due time or not.
Yeah, if I may, that sounds like you're going to be held anyways, if you're talking about an IED out of Indianapolis.
Mhm. I understand.
See, in other cases, he's got the May 28th. Well, Mr. Krass has got other cases set for May the 28th. I'll set this for May the 28th, and we'll try to get everything together.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Krass, I'll come see you.
What?
Okay, thank you.
1:30 on May the 28th.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, does that make me be able to go?
Yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Samantha Windsor.
Yes, Ms. Windsor, you're free to go. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Commonwealth versus Sean Buttram, 17 CR 256.
And Your Honor, I have Mr. Buttram's case as well.
All right, Mr. Wilson, what are we doing with Mr. Buttram's case?
Judge, I had just been assigned to this. Additionally, it appears when I called the Commonwealth's office that this was one of Mr. Harris's cases. We're not ready to go today, Judge, and it's not the fault of anybody not trying. It's just I just got Mr. Buttram's cases, and I think this was Jim's case originally on the 17 CR case. If we could get a pass date as soon as possible, maybe June. I know Your Honor was saying June might be out. But sooner than later would be better. I do think these are resolvable. I haven't actually been able to speak to Mr. Buttram either, so I'm hopeful to get them resolved in a timely fashion.
July the 19th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Wilson, are you going to still be employed here on July the 19th?
No, sir. I'll be in Frankfurt.
Okay, well, please make sure that your cases get assigned so that whoever's taking your place is ready to go on July the 19th.
Yes, sir. I'll be navigating those waters as I go along.
Thank you.
Mr. Buttram, I'll be there to see you.
Okay, thank you.
Commonwealth versus Mark Anthony McKenzie, 18 CR 320.
Your Honor, I've got Mr. McKenzie in the lobby. I'm gonna go get him now. We have a plea agreement, I believe.
Very well.
Your Honor, this is Mr. McKenzie here in my office with me. I believe we have reached an agreement with Commonwealth.
Very good. Mr. McKenzie, would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear from the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Mark Anthony McKenzie,
And what's your date of birth, Mr. McKenzie?
5677,
Thank you. And your address, please.
Lyon County, Eddyville, P.O. Box 244.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. McKenzie, did you read and understand everything on the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form and the motion to enter guilty plea form?
Yes, sir.
Mr. McKenzie, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to a trial by jury. At your trial, you would have the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses against you. You have the right to compel your own witnesses to come in and testify on your behalf. You have the right to require the Commonwealth to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If you were found guilty at trial, you would have the right to appeal your conviction to a higher court. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney of your own choosing. If you are unable to afford an attorney, the court will appoint one for you. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
So you're charged with first-degree trafficking in a controlled substance greater than 2 grams of methamphetamine first offense, a Class C felony. That's punishable by 5 to 10 years in prison. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is moving to amend the charge to trafficking in a controlled substance less than 2 grams of methamphetamine first offense, a Class D felony. The recommended sentence is 5 years. On that charge, you also have a charge of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is named misdemeanor. Recommended sentence on that is 12 months. Those would run concurrently for a total of 5 years, but consecutive to any other case that you might have. Is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Brown concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with him now?
No, sir.
Do you believe that Mr. Brown is aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charges trafficking in a controlled substance in the first degree, first offense, methamphetamine, less than 2 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia?
Guilty?
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will today?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that you and Amy Curtin committed the offenses contained in the indictment on or about January the 30th, 2018 in McCracken County. On that date, you, acting alone or in complicity with each other, possessed a quantity of methamphetamine with the intent to sell it. Is that true, Mr. McKenzie?
Yes, sir.
Is there a factual basis for the paraphernalia? And I'm asking the Commonwealth.
I know, I inherited this one on remand. Let me look at the BOP real quickly. Glass pipe.
Okay, did you possess a glass pipe with the intent to use it to use drugs, Mr. McKenzie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the court accepts your, Mr. Brown, do you know of any reason why Mr. McKenzie's guilty plea would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
I do not, Your Honor.
Court does accept the guilty plea as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. Mr. McKenzie, since you're out of jail, I need for you to please go by probation and parole so that they can begin work on your pre-sentence investigation report. And also, I think probably on July the 8th, we will still be doing sentencings at the McCracken County Jail courtroom. So if you would, please go ahead and appear then on July the 8th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McKenzie. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Commonwealth versus Martin Levia Garcia, 20 CR 6.
Your Honor, he actually has 2 cases. He's also called 20 Martin L. Garcia. So he's 20 and 26.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garcia, would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear from the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address? You can lower your hand.
Martin Lavo Garcia, 7/12/1993, 4131 Clark River Road, Lot 10.
Okay, is that in Paducah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, did you read and understand everything on the motion to enter guilty plea form and the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form in both of your cases?
Yes, sir.
Were you in the jail courtroom there when I read everybody their rights?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I was.
Okay, and did you hear and understand your rights when I read them to you?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
All right. In case 20 CR 6, you're charged with an improper signal, which is a violation, operating on a suspended license, which is a B misdemeanor, possession of marijuana, B misdemeanor, drug paraphernalia, A misdemeanor, and first degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, a D felony. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is recommending a $25 fine for the improper signal, 90-day jail sentence for operating on a suspended license, 45 days for possessing marijuana, 12 months for possessing drug paraphernalia, 18 months for possessing methamphetamine. That would all run concurrent for a total of 18 months plus your $25 fine. You would forfeit all items seized. Is this your understanding of the agreement in that case?
Yes, sir.
And then 20 CR 548 was a bail jumping charge. Recommended sentence is 1 year on that consecutive. So a total sentence looks like of 2.5 years. Is that your understanding of the agreement in these cases?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Johnson concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes, sir, I did have enough time.
Do you need more time to speak with him now on any matter?
No, sir.
Do you believe that Mr. Johnson is aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charges? Improper signal, operating on a suspended license, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, first degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, and first degree bail jumping.
Guilty.
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes, sir.
Allegation is that on or about December 6, 2019, you improperly signaled, operated your vehicle on a suspended license, possessed marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and methamphetamine. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
It's also alleged that on or about August 31st, 2020, you intentionally failed to appear for your pretrial conference in your other case, 20 CR 6. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, do you know of any reason why Mr. Garcia's guilty pleas would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No.
Court accepts the guilty pleas as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. We'll see you then, Mr. Garcia. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Sir. Commonwealth versus Zachary A. Doctorman and Miosha J. Poindexter, 20 CR 406.
Morning, Judge. Represent Mr. Doctorman.
Right here.
We have Jim was the prosecutor previously, and he has obviously left the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. We haven't figured out who the new prosecutor is yet. We'd like to request one continuance while we figure that out.
Judge, if I may, I represent Ms. Poindexter. She's present on the line as well. And additionally to what Mr. Schultz just said, we're also still waiting on medical records from Norton. I know that the Commonwealth, I've been in contact with them several times. I think they've been diligently trying to get those. I've also talked to the detective in the case, and I think she has tried as well. So that's another issue. I don't know how long they anticipate. We pushed it out, I think, a month and a half, 2 months last time, but we still don't have the medical record. So that's an even bigger issue from my perspective.
Okay, how about August the 25th? Think that gives everybody enough time to get ready in this case?
Judge, we'll push it if we don't have the medical records by then I'll get with Ms. Bobo and Mr. Schultz and try to figure something out about when we will, but we'll make contact with them. I remember this when Alicia said that.
I can't believe it would take to August the 25th to get these records.
I don't either, so it shouldn't be an issue, but if it is, I'll address it.
August the 25th at 9 a.m.
We actually have some records you might be looking for, just for the record. Just saying.
All right, August the 25th at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Commonwealth versus Scotty D. Ross, 20 CR 432, 20 CR 476.
Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Mr. Is this Mr. Doss?
Ross, Scotty D. Ross. Oh, is it Doss?
One's Ross and Doss.
I have a Scotty Doss, Judge. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that, let's see, was there, I guess, there,
Oh, no, they're different. They're two different people,
okay.
two different birthdays.
So first is Scotty D. Ross then, and that
Okay.
is CR 432. That's some coincidence. Do we have Mr. Ross in the jail?
No, Judge, it appears Mr. Ross is online, although I do not have Mr. Ross's case.
John Stroh for Mr. Ross. I apologize.
Okay, there we go.
John, yeah.
Now we got it all squared away, and I do see Mr. Ross, he's waving at us. Mr. Stroud, what are we doing with Mr. Ross's case?
Mr. Ross, I believe he wants a trial. Is that correct, Mr. Ross?
Okay, can we do this in a day?
I believe so.
Yes, sir.
And he's out of custody.
Judge, I think Mr. Ross is trying to talk and he's muted.
He had sent
not muted.
He had sent a message to everybody that he doesn't have any volume on his phone.
Oh, okay. Well, have you been in contact with him, Mr. Straub?
Oh, yes, sir. Let's check my notes real quick. We,
All right, Mr. Ross, you want a trial? Nod your head if you want a trial. I see you waving. Just nod your head if you want a trial. You can't hear? All right, you can't hear anything. Well, what you need to do, that kind of puts us at an impasse, doesn't it?
He's got a thumbs up. No.
He can hear, he can't talk.
Okay, so you can't hear us, Mr. Ross? Yes, you can hear. Well, all right.
Judge, if I could suggest, John, I think it might behoove us to talk a little further on this. I believe the victim in the case is called and talked to Sarah in my office. I think it might, now, do you know what happened to his case over in Graves County?
that's still pending. I think it's still pending.
Well, okay, it's up to you. If you want to set it for trial, we're good. I mean, until the court,
If
obviously.
there's a possibility of, maybe working it out, I'd like to give it a shot. Plus, I'll tell you, since he can't communicate with us, it might be better to get that trial date later.
Yeah.
July the 19th at 9 a.m.
Thank
you.
The next pretrial. All right, Commonwealth versus Scotty L. Doss, 20 CR 476.
Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Scotty Doss.
And where is Mr. Doss?
Judge, from my understanding, he had posted.
Is Mr. Doss online? Mr. Doss, if you're here, I need you to please speak up so I can find you.
Jen, I was unable to connect with him preceding today's hearing.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to issue a bench warrant for Mr. Doss, no bond.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Mark Dale Lamb and Levi W. Thorne, CR 568.
We're here, Your Honor. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kevin Olson on behalf of Mr. Thorne.
Your Honor, Jeremy and Smith on behalf of Mr. Lamb.
Okay, and it looks like they're both together. Is that right? Mr. Thorne and Mr. Lamb are in the same?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Smith and Mr. Olson, what are we doing with this case?
Judge, this is a case that was previously handled by Jim Harris at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. He is fortunate enough to have headed out into retirement. And my understanding is the Commonwealth Attorney is going to be reassigning this file. I have not had an opportunity to speak with whoever that is going to be.
All right, let's take it out to August the 25th at 9 a.m.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you, gentlemen. Commonwealth versus Ashley N. Tucker, 20 CR 658.
This is Mr. Reed from Ms. Tucker. Ms. Tucker is here in my office and we have reached an agreement.
And I do have the paperwork. Ms. Tucker, would you raise your right hand, please, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Ashley Nicole Tucker, 12787, 2535 Ohio Street, Paducah, Kentucky, 42003.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Ma'am, did you read and understand everything on the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form and the motion to enter guilty plea form?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear and understand the rights I read to you at the beginning of court?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with enhanced possession of marijuana, Class D felony. I'm assuming that it's a firearm enhancement. Enhanced first-degree possession of a controlled substance, hydrocodone, second offense, Class C felony. Enhanced trafficking in a controlled substance greater than 2 grams of methamphetamine, first offense, B felony. And enhanced possession of drug paraphernalia, D felony. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth looks like they are removing the firearm enhancement from the charges. And the recommended sentence on count 1, possession of marijuana, 45 days. Count 2, first degree possession of controlled substance, hydrocodone, second offense, 18 months. Count 3, trafficking in a controlled substance greater than 2 grams of methamphetamine, first offense, 5 years. Count 4, and drug paraphernalia 12 months. Those are going to all run concurrently for a total of 5 years. This would be consecutive with any other case you might have. Forfeit all items seized. Is this your understanding of the agreement, Ms. Tucker?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Reed concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with him now?
No, sir.
Do you believe that he's aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charges? Possession of marijuana, first degree possession of a controlled substance, hydrocodone, second offense, first degree trafficking in a controlled substance greater than 2 grams of methamphetamine, first offense, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Guilty.
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
Not that it's affecting my judgment, sir.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes, sir.
The allegation is that on or about September 13th of 2020 in McCracken County, you unlawfully possessed a quantity of methamphetamine over 2 grams you intended to traffic. You possessed marijuana, hydrocodone pill, and drug paraphernalia. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reed, do you know of any reason why Ms. Tucker's guilty pleas would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No, Your Honor.
The court does accept the guilty pleas as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. Mr. Reed, will you make sure Ms. Tucker gets over to probation and parole to get her work on our PSI?
Yes, Judge, I will.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Tucker, when you come for sentencing on July the 8th, as it stands right now, we're still doing them in the McCracken County Jail courtroom. So that's where you'll go on July the 8th at 9.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Commonwealth versus Joseph O. Newcomb, 20 CR 688, 20 CR 690.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Aaron Harper on behalf of Mr. Newcomb. That's him approaching the lectern in jail.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harper.
He has 2 indictments. We've reached agreements in both matters, and the court should have the tender paperwork.
Very good. Let me remove them from the files. Mr. Newcomb, would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Will you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Joseph Odell Newcomb, 07-10-2001, 320 Morning Deer Drive, Paducah, Kentucky.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Sir, did you read and understand everything on the motion to enter guilty plea form and the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form in your cases?
Yes, sir.
Sir, were you in court when I read your rights to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you do plead guilty today, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, in case 20 CR 688, you're charged with second-degree sexual abuse, a Class A misdemeanor, promoting a sexual performance by a minor under 16, a Class B felony, use of electronic communication system to procure a minor for sex, a Class D felony, and second-degree sodomy, a Class C felony. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is moving to amend count 2 to possession of matter portraying minor under sex performance, a Class D felony. Recommended sentences are 12 months on count 1, the second-degree sexual abuse, 4-year sentence for promoting a sexual performance by a minor. On amended charge of possessing matter portraying a minor under sex performance, 4-year sentence for use of an electronic communication system to procure a minor for sex, Class D felony, and a 5-year sentence on second-degree sodomy.
Sorry.
Counts 2 and 3 would be
Hey, my name is Scotty Dawes.
Counts 2 and 3 would be concurrent with each other, but consecutive to count 4 for a total of 9 years. Is that your understanding of the agreement in that case, Mr. Newcomb?
Yes, sir.
Now, I have to look this up every time. Would he have to register as a sex offender? I'm sure he would he not?
Yes, sir.
Would that be a lifetime registration?
My review of it's a 20-year registration. And I've discussed 20-year versus lifetime on multiple occasions with Mr. Newcomb.
Would he be eligible for probation?
Statutorily ineligible in this case.
Statutory ineligible. Okay, thank you very much. That's why I wanted to make sure that Mr. Newcomb, that I've discussed that with you.
And Joey, we've discussed that. Yes.
Okay, and then in the other case, 20 CR 690. Charges are count
Hey,
one
my name
tamper.
is Scotty Doss, and I'll call my name earlier.
Okay, Mr. Doss, you're interrupting court, so I'll just hang on the line. After I finish everybody else, I'll get back to you. Count one, tampering with physical evidence, class D felony. Count two, possession of marijuana, 45-day sentence is recommended, that's the maximum. Count three, second degree unlawful transaction with a minor, D felony. Count four, possession of drug paraphernalia, A misdemeanor. Count five, failure to signal violation. In exchange for a guilty plea, the Commonwealth moves to dismiss counts 1, 3, and 5, the tampering, the unlawful transaction with a minor, and failure to signal. That would leave possession of marijuana, which the recommended sentence is 45 days, and possession of drug paraphernalia, the recommended sentence is 12 months. Forfeit all items seized, and I believe this would probably run concurrent with your other case, since these.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Newcomb, is that your understanding of the recommendation in that case?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Harper concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with him now?
No, sir.
You believe that he is aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Harper's performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charges? Second degree sexual abuse, possession of matter portraying a minor in her sex performance, use of an electronic communication system to procure a minor for sex, and second degree sodomy. How do you wish to plead to those charges?
Guilty.
How do you wish to plead to the charges? Possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Guilty.
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty to any of these charges?
No, sir.
You taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that during the period from September the 1st through September 30th, 2020, you subjected a minor to sexual contact, possessed videos portraying a minor in a sexual performance, used an electronic communications device to procure a minor for sex, and being 18 years of age or more, engaged in deviant sexual intercourse with a minor under 14 years of age. Is all that true?
Yes, sir.
And on September the 30th of 2020, did you possess marijuana and drug paraphernalia?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harper, do you know of any reason why Mr. Newcomb's guilty plea would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently?
No, Judge.
Court does accept the guilty plea is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. In addition to the pre-sentence investigation report, the court does order a sexual offender treatment evaluation.
Joey, I'll be over to see you, sir.
Okay, good luck, Mr. Newcomb. We'll see you on July the 8th. Commonwealth versus Deontra Terrence Snow, 20 CR 722.
Your Honor, this is Audrey Lee. I represent Mr. Snow. He had a KCPC evaluation. I sent a copy over to Commonwealth. Mr. Jones, I've also provided a copy to the court in case you didn't get that. This would require a hearing. I don't think that we can just, I don't know that we can just stipulate, but considering the seriousness of what I see in the report, we need to move quickly, I think.
I agree. The only issue, and you've gotten the report, is the Commonwealth going to want a hearing on it?
Mr. John, when I read the report, I was very concerned. Very concerned.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Bose, is the Commonwealth going to want a competency hearing?
But Judge, Mr. Jones tells me that the report indicates that he's incompetent and he is unlikely to gain competence. Is that correct? I don't see the report.
I haven't read it. I just looked at the.
Well, his condition is such that I don't think you can medicate him to get him to be competent. You know, so there are autism.
Right.
There's some other mental issue, IQ issues, and I don't know what they say that, how it's
Well, I don't
said.
have a copy of the report, so I need to get that. So I guess we need to set it for a competency
Well,
hearing.
now, Mr. Bosch, you don't recall, I talked about you so many things. As soon as the report came in, I called and said, it's a concern. Mr. Jones, it was sent to you yesterday, and so you haven't had a chance to read it. I know you're prepping for trial.
I got it yesterday afternoon.
He is what they call mentally challenged. That's what they call it, challenged. That's what they call it now.
All right, I would like to have the opportunity to talk to the victim in the case as well.
It's Dr. Sparks was the doctor. So, I mean, whatever we need to do, he's been sitting over there in McCracken County Jail this whole time. Autistic people tend to stay to themselves. He's been kind of isolating himself. And I'm just concerned that he's in the jail and he's one that shouldn't be there.
All right, okay.
Despite what he did, and I have insights into autistic people and why he did what he did, maybe. So I'm not excusing what he did. I'm just saying that I don't think he can be made competent.
Well, does it say that in the report, Ms. Lee?
It's in the report that he is
that he cannot gain competence within a reasonable future.
Where's the report?
No, we need it. I'd have to pull the report up and look at it, but I think if Mr. Bowes wants to speak to Dr. Sparks, whatever we need to do it quickly. Let me pull the report up.
This very last.
Thanks. Thank you.
Competency. I know he lacks the capacity to appreciate what's going on and participate rationally.
I can do it May the 18th.
May the 18th? Okay.
Now, the problem is, I don't know what the jail's availability that day. That's not my week to have court. But we're kind of getting away from that a little bit. I don't know if Judge Kaltenbach's got a trial that day.
Do I have another hearing with you on the 18th?
Do you represent Ms. Shyrock?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's at 11.
It's at 11, yes.
So we could make this at 11 as well.
Okay.
Judge, are you talking about May 18th?
Yeah.
May
18th. There's a Division I jury trial going on that date, and sounds like it's going to go.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Just letting you know.
Well, you've got more than one prosecutor over there.
We do that. You said 11 o'clock?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Pamela D. Wright, 20 CR 728. It looks like I've got some paperwork for Ms. Wright. Ms. Lee, do you represent Ms. Wright?
I do represent her, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Ms. Wright, would you raise your right hand, please, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
My name's Pamela Denise Wright, 2324 Hover Camp. I was born in 1/20/71.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wright. Ms. Wright, did you read and understand everything on the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form and the motion to enter guilty plea form?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, were you in the jail courtroom when I read to everybody their rights?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear and understand them?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation today and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with first-degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, a Class D felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class A misdemeanor, and second-degree possession of a controlled substance, Suboxone, a Class A misdemeanor. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is recommending an 18-month sentence for possessing methamphetamine, 12 months for possessing drug paraphernalia, and 12 months for possessing Suboxone, all to run concurrently for a total of 18 months. This will be consecutive with any other case that you might have and forfeit all items seized. Is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Lee concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with her now?
No, is the failure to appear that I'm sitting in jail, is that part of this?
I don't know.
I've been here for 5 months on failure to appear. That's the only thing I didn't understand.
Hang on, I don't know. Actually,
I came in on January the 11th, I think, or 13th.
You failed to show for arraignment back in December, Judge.
so she missed her arraignment?
Yes, and then you've already had a bond hearing. She had a bond hearing, it looks like in February.
Okay. Well, and there's another issue too, Ms. Lee, that I had ordered an evaluation for Ms. Wright. Was that ever completed?
This is Miss Wright.
Pamela Wright.
Right. No.
Okay, so we can't have a pretrial today.
Okay. And she had questioned that too. Okay.
I know KCPC has the order because I got something from them.
Right.
The order.
And I didn't have anything back for them on a report, so I said, okay, so, okay, Miss Wright, we still can't do it. We can't undo it.
So
Okay, the order.
I'll continue this till July the 19th at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank
Your
you,
Honor,
Your Honor.
can I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
May I speak? This order has been put in because me and her secretary had an argument on the telephone.
No, Miss Wright, it was put in because you requested that you wanted a KCPC evaluation.
I didn't. No, I didn't. It was an argument with me and your secretary. That's why they're sending me to KCPC. It doesn't make sense to me. There's no doctor, or I've never been to a mental institution. Me and your secretary got in an argument, and she said, maybe you need a mental evaluation. I said, well, maybe I did, but we were arguing. I mean, that is the only reason that this order is in. There is no doctor or anyone. I've never been institutional. I mean, I've never been to a mental institution.
Ms. Lee, she doesn't sound to me like she has any mental issues. So what I'm going to ask you, Ms. Lee, is meet with her as soon as possible.
Yeah, I met with her at the jail, and she did question this, and I can go back and check my notes. But I'm not,
If it's a mistake, if it was mistakenly ordered, let's get it corrected.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think it was a request on her behalf because I think she met with mental health at the jail.
And it may have been a misunderstanding. I don't know, but she certainly sounds to me like she knows what's going on.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. We will check on this.
I'm going to continue this till May the 28th at 1:30.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Lee. Commonwealth versus Kenneth Lyons and Jessica Newsom, 20 CR 744.
Kenneth Lyons is being continued.
Okay, and there's an agreed order continuing Mr. Lyons' case until the 19th of July. And we've got Ms. Newsom at the podium. Who represents Ms. Newsom?
Represent Ms. Newsom, Your Honor, and I told her, I didn't know what was going on with Mr. Lyons' part of the case. He has a separate attorney, but I needed to get more information and get with the Commonwealth. This is a case that requires a deep dive, and we've not made a deep dive into everything in this case yet.
Can you complete your deep dive by July the 19th?
We're going to try, Your Honor.
Okay, July the 19th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Commonwealth versus Eric L. Sternberg, 20 CR 796. And Mr. Johnson, you represent Mr. Sternberg?
I do, Your Honor. And I have clients in jail with 9 cases among them, except for pretrial today. I resolved the other 8, but this one I ran out of time. I have so many cases in Zoom court so often, it's hard to get to all of them. This one had a little more to it, and I need a little more time to get to them.
July the 19th at 9 a.m.
That should be plenty.
Commonwealth versus Jennifer Huff, 20 CR 826.
And she's online, Your Honor. This is a case that I've been talking to Mr. Mills about. Texas also has, there are similar charges down there. And that case was a little ahead of the Kentucky case, and we're waiting to see how that plays out. We had expected her to be final sentenced about 2 weeks ago, but my understanding, I believe, is that that's been continued to June. And I think if we have a July court date and see how it played out in Texas officially, I think we could resolve it in July.
Very well. July the 19th, and this is going to be at 1:30. July the 19th at 1:30. Okay, good luck to you, Ms. Huff. Commonwealth versus Javaro Freeman, 20 CR 832.
Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Mr. Freeman.
Okay, is Mr. Freeman online?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hear you, Mr. Freeman.
Mr. Freeman, did you want to go ahead and set this?
What is that off? I ain't trying to plead nothing.
Right. Judge, if we can go ahead and get a trial date for this, I think that'd be helpful.
Can we do this in a day?
I believe so. I believe so. And I think there's also been an affidavit by the victim tendered. But yes, I think a day would be appropriate.
So can it be dismissed? That's why I asked.
Mr. Mills, if you're saying something, I think you're muted. I can't tell because you got your mask.
I'm not really saying anything.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were.
I really can't hear.
Hang on just a second, Mr. Freeman. We're trying to figure out the calendar of when we can set this. Just stand by.
Are you saying it for a trial date or trial date, Smith?
Yeah, trial date. Just 1 second, though. The judge is looking over his calendar.
Well, it's based on well, no, he's got 3 prior. That's not that big a deal to present that.
January the 13th, it's going to be second on the docket.
January.
Yep, that's as soon as they can do it, Mr. Freeman.
I'm asking, can it be dismissed? Because I don't know what they're going to have going on for real, Mr. Wilson.
Sure. As far as negotiated, Mr. Freeman, I'm happy to do that. But they're just getting a trial date set.
Okay, that's January 13th.
Yes, sir, Judge. That should be just fine.
Okay, and we'll see you at 8:30 in the morning that day, Mr. Freeman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Evan R. Evans, 20 CR 834.
And Your Honor, Peyton Wilson on behalf of Mr. Evans. Judge, we're going to be asking that this get passed to the July 19th date. Mr. Evans has another case that's already set for that date. We're hopeful to get a global resolution at that time.
Okay, July the 19th at 1:30.
Thank you.
Judge's other case is on at 9.
Oh, at 9? Okay, then 9. Thank you, Anita.
You're welcome, sir.
Commonwealth versus Christopher Blake Parks, Layla Ann Murray, and Dakota R. Williams, 20 CR 894.
Yes, sir. Represent Christopher Parks. He's online.
I see Mr. Parks and Miss Dakota Williams.
Your Honor, I represent Dakota Williams, and I did see him online.
Okay, I see Dakota Williams now.
And Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Miss Marie, she's also online.
I see Miss Marie as well. All right, what are we doing with this?
Your Honor, I received an 18-month offer for Mr. Parks. I have 2 clients who are out who I did not get to. He was one of the 2. So I would need time to communicate the offer to him and do what to do.
Okay.
I would have to second Mr. Johnson's position. Miss Marie, I need your phone number if that's possible to get.
Okay.
What is it?
618.
800. Text me.
800.
8027.
8027.
Okay, I've got 618-800-8027.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Parks, could I get your number again?
I don't have no number at the time. I can get your number and write it down. Hold on a second.
And if I may, Mr. Jones, is this yours?
My wife has took this actually was hers that when we got pulled over, and she's already took.
That's not what he's asking.
Is there a reason why all of us are charged for it?
Mr. Parks, I'll talk to you. Here's our number, 833.
Yep.
895.
Yep.
0577. That's an 800 number.
Okay.
Your Honor, I represent Mr. Dakota Williams, and my notes on this is that it was contingent on everyone taking the offer, and of course, Mr. Johnson couldn't reach his person. I have a number for Mr. Williams. I've tried reaching it, and it says it's busy. If your number's changed, Mr. Williams, you need to call my office and let us know. But
okay, I'll definitely do that.
I have the paperwork ready. If you're willing, if everyone's willing to sign, we can wrap this up, but I don't know if they are or not.
Oh, I'm definitely not signing. I'm innocent. Okay. I'm taking it to trial.
Mr. Williamson, you need to call me and we need to get together.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may, Your Honor, did we ever get labs back? I didn't have a copy. I just was curious if we had labs back.
Mr. Bose, you know if you've got, or Mr. Jones, you know if you've got the laboratory.
I think he's looking.
We'll wait on the labs on this one, Judge. I'll call and check with the state police and see if we can get that expedited.
Thank you.
So this is going to be a contingent offer?
Yes, Judge, upon all 3. And
so we've got one defendant who doesn't want to please. Why don't we just set it for trial?
I agree, Judge.
But I think we need to get those labs.
Well, you can get the labs.
Hey, okay. I think they can still set it. That's fine. We're okay.
That's fine, Your Honor.
So we're going to need probably, 2 days for this one?
At least.
Can we do it in 2?
We can do it 2, Judge.
Set it for January 19th and 20th. It's going to be 3rd on the docket.
January, let me look at my January calendar. January 19th and 20th. Okay, I don't have anything that late in January, so that's good for me. 19th and 20th.
Works for me.
That's good for the Commonwealth, Judge. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. See y'all then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Commonwealth versus Michael David King Jr., 21 CR 6.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Aaron Harper on behalf of Mr. King. That's him there in the black button-up shirt on your screen.
I see him. Looks like you've reached an agreement. Is that right?
Yes, sir, we have.
Okay, Mr. King, would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Michael David King Jr. And the address is 1511 Bellamy Place, Louisville, Kentucky, apartment 201.
Okay, thank you, Mr. King. Did you read and understand everything on the motion to enter guilty plea form and the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form? There's also a diversion agreement here, which I'm not bound by. Did you read everything on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you hear and understand the rights I read to you at the beginning of court today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation and plead guilty today, you'd be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
Looks like the recommended sentence is 2 years. Do you understand that if you plead guilty today, I don't have to divert your case. I could sentence you to serve 2 years in prison.
Yes, sir.
Right, you are charged with third-degree burglary as a Class D felony. I just told you the recommended sentence is 2 years. This recommendation, this sentence would be consecutive to any other sentence in any other indictment. You would have to forfeit all items seized and pay restitution. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Harper concerning your charge and any possible defenses to it that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with Mr. Harper now?
No, sir.
Do you believe that he is aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charge third-degree burglary?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
None that are affecting my decision.
Okay. Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit this offense?
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that on or about November the 12th of 2020 in McCracken County, you entered 99 Buffet by breaking the doorknob. While inside the business, you stole $700 in cash and damaged the DVR. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harper, do you know of any reason why Mr. King's guilty plea would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No, Your Honor.
Court does accept a guilty plea as knowingly, voluntarily entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. Mr.
Your Honor,
yes.
May I interject briefly, please?
Yes, sir.
Mr. King, obviously, he lives and works in Louisville, and he works overnights at UPS. Is there an afternoon sentencing date the court perhaps has in August?
Let me see. Everything is at 9, Mr. Harper.
Okay. What are the August dates, if you don't mind the August date, if you don't mind?
August 9th.
Michael, would you rather do, if the court's so inclined, Monday, the 9th of August or the 8th of July?
Either works for me, sir.
Let's just do July 8th then, Judge, if that's okay. If that's okay with you, Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Harper, will you make sure that Mr. King is in contact with probation and parole so that they can do his PSI?
Officer Athens has already contacted me. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. King, we're going to see you at the McCracken County Jail courtroom then on July the 8th at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Michael, I'll call you. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Harper.
That concludes my business, if I can be excused.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Erica Worley, 21 CR 24.
And
Yes,
Your Honor,
sir.
I'm sorry. This is the other case that I just needed more time. She's online.
Let me find her. Ms. Worley, okay, I see Ms. Worley.
I'm very familiar with her case. I just needed to make some phone calls and do
How
a little
about
work.
July the 19th at 1:30? Can you be ready then?
Yes.
Okay, July the 19th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, ma'am. Commonwealth versus Jimmy C. Overturf, 21 CR 34. Jimmy Overturf. Jimmy Overturf online. We have Jimmy Overturf's attorney. Looks like Peyton Wilson was the last attorney we had of record.
Your Honor, he's pulling up his screen just now.
Sorry, Judge. Mr.
All right,
Overturf.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I haven't spoken to Mr. Overturf. I know I've got his case on the docket, but I haven't had any contact with him.
We'll issue a bench warrant for him. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Commonwealth versus Matthew M. McKeel, 21 CR 42.
Judge, I'm here for Mr. McKeel. He should be online.
I do. I see Mr. McKeel.
Judge, we have reached an agreement. We do not have the paperwork together, though.
All right, July the 19th at 1:30. Let's have it done by then, please, Mr. Markham.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Commonwealth versus Aaron B. Hobbs, 21 CR 89, 21 CR 257.
John Straw for Aaron Hobbs. I met with him a day or two ago, and I thought we had it worked out, but I don't think we do now. Mr. Hobbs, are you requesting a trial?
I mean, I had a counter offer in mind. I went over my motion of discovery by myself today, and I first got it today. Every bit of dope that they found was in somebody else's purse. They don't have anything in my possession. I don't even know why I'm arrested right now. So here's my thing. Somebody can hammer clause me and let me go to rehab. I'm just gonna box it up and take the trial. They didn't find nothing on me. They found everything in her purse. I don't understand why I'm even arrested right now. I really don't. Looking over the evidence against me.
It sounds like he's requesting a trial date, Your Honor.
I don't even know how they can do this stuff to people. I really don't.
Now, did I inherit Christina Toy too? Because this was a Division I case.
I'm looking, Judge.
They're keeping her. Back here.
Yes, Judge, you did, and it looks like she was picked up on a warrant because she failed to come, and we haven't put her back on. I actually accidentally put her on for Judge Kaltenbach next Friday, which she should be yours. So we need to give her a bond revel hearing and a pretrial date hearing.
I just don't understand how this stuff.
Let's put her on May the 28th. Both Mr. Hobbs and Ms. Toy on for May the 28th.
Okay.
Your Honor.
We'll put her on for motion hour to get a hearing for the bond revocation, and then at 1:30 for pretrial conference.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And what? Okay. Good luck, Mr. Hobbs. We'll see you on May the 28th at 1:30.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Commonwealth versus Chase O. Hargrove, 20 CR 684, 21 CR 290.
Judge Peyton Wilson on behalf of Mr. Hargrove. I believe we have a plea agreement in one and a agreed order that will dismiss the bail jumping in the other of his two cases.
Okay, I see that. Mr. Hargrove, would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Jason L. Hargrove, January 15, 2001, and 2616 Lincoln Road, Benton, Kentucky, 43025.
Thank you, Mr. Hargrove. Sir, did you read and understand everything on the motion to enter guilty plea form and the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form?
Yes, sir.
And I couldn't see Mr. Hargrove. Were you in the courtroom at the beginning of court, close to 2 o'clock, a little bit before 2, when I read everybody their rights?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear and understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you do plead guilty today, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes, sir.
So you're charged with second-degree burglary, a Class C felony, and theft by unlawful taking over $500, a Class D felony. In exchange for your guilty plea, the Commonwealth is recommending 5 years on each charge to run concurrently for a total of 5 years. This sentence would be consecutive to any other sentence and any other indictment. You would have to pay restitution, if any. Is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time? It's Mr. Wilson, is that right?
That's right, Judge.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Wilson concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Do you need more time to speak with him now?
Hey, Your Honor, I'm sorry, this is Jimmy Overturf. My phone would not let me answer. I was online. I heard you say Peyton Wilson had been in contact with me. I don't need no bench warrant. I've been online for 3 hours.
Okay, well, Mr. Overturf, you're interrupting me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was giving no bench warrant. I'll wait.
If you would like for me to withdraw the bench warrant, please be quiet and I'll call you in a minute.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I don't even remember where we were.
You were
I
asking,
apologize.
I needed time to talk to Mr. Wilson.
Do you need more time to speak with Mr. Wilson now, Mr.
No, sir.
You believe he's aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to the charge of second-degree burglary and theft by unlawful taking over $500?
I plead guilty, sir.
Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
No, sir.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that on October the 13th of 2019, you stole 2 steel chainsaws from 416 Iowa Street, valued at over $500, from the home of James Beesh at 416 Iowa Street, Paducah, Kentucky. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, do you know of any reason why Mr. Hargrove's guilty plea was not entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No, sir.
Court accepts the guilty plea as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 o'clock, and I will sign the order dismissing the bail jumping.
Judge, if I may, I think there's still a contempt charge on the underlier. We would ask that that be dismissed as well. I think it was for the same conduct as the bail jumping.
Why are you dismissing the bail jumping?
Judge, I'm dismissing the bail jumping, just simply in the agreement of this case. I have spoken with Mr. Wilson. I don't believe he intentionally missed court. And with the pleading of this to the burglary, I feel it's appropriate.
Okay. Well, he did fail. I don't care if he, a lot of people don't mean to fail to appear in court, but they did fail to appear in court. So that's going to stay in place. Either that or just revoke his bond. But
if I may, Judge, is it possible that Mr. Hargrove could also plead open to the contempt? He's just hopeful to. He has an apprenticeship lined up with the Electricianship Guild here, and he was really hopeful to start in that program. And that was really our intent today, was to see him.
No. My intent is for him to stay incarcerated until his sentencing, unless there is just a really, really good reason why he failed to appear for his pretrial.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Hargrove.
I signed for my charges. I have no reason to run from them. I did not.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. Once you fail to appear in circuit court, you're in jail till the case is over, unless there's a really valid reason for the failure to appear. That's the rule.
Would the weather and my phone being stolen not be a valid reason?
No, it's not a valid reason.
I call up whenever I got another phone to tell the people.
Nope. You're gonna stay incarcerated till your sentencing.
Could I withdraw my guilty plea?
That is dynamically a part of our kind of agreement, Judge, is that the disposition today was with an intention for him to be able to go back on bond pending sentencing. And
who'd you negotiate that with?
The Commonwealth. That was the bail jumping. So there was never really a hearing on the contempt. We were hopeful to address it, but really never had that opportunity to have the hearing. And then it was a matter of the bail jumping holding him in addition to the contempt. And we were hopeful that with the dismissal of the bail jumping, that the contempt would likewise be disposed of, either by way of allowing him to plead it or otherwise just have it dismissed. But
Judge, I'd like it on the record. I did agree to dismiss the bail jumping, but I did not guarantee that I would get him out of jail today. But I did agree to dismiss the bail jumping.
plead guilty still.
Okay. Well, Mr. Wilson, if you want to contest that there's an open contempt, we can always convert it to a bond revocation hearing, and I'll give him a bond revocation hearing if that's what you want to do. But
Judge, that's not it at all. If anything, we would just be hopeful that he could plead to it to have a certain out date. The uncertainty in this regard would seriously depreciate his position in bargaining, and it's
well,
one of
I don't
those
know what's going to happen at sentencing. He may be sent to prison.
I understand that, Your Honor. That's one of the things, the bargaining chips at play here that we're well aware of, is that being in versus being out is a huge motivating factor in resolving a lot of these cases, and that's the dynamic that we were hopeful to see through to fruition. I understand that Mr. Jones really can't bargain with the contempt power of the court. It's just also almost this belt and suspenders to ensure that he's staying in despite the Commonwealth negotiating away what would be, again, like the exact same facts and circumstances on that bail jumping. But we were just hopeful that the contempt would be likewise disposed of. I mean, they almost mirror one another in that they're the exact same charge, the exact same dates, the exact same conduct. Really, the bail jumping even holds greater weight, Judge, in that it can have a sentence up to 5 years, as you know, whereas the contempt's limited to the 180 days.
Okay. Well, I don't think you're going to get what you want today, Mr. Wilson. But if he hasn't had a bond hearing already, you're entitled to a bond hearing, and I would consider, I'd consider his failure to appear at the bond hearing.
Can I have a bond for the failure to appear and still plead guilty?
Is that what you want?
If you're talking about seeing if we can move for the bond to be reinstated, yes, Judge, I'd be happy to tender a motion to that effect by the end of the day. That's no big deal.
May the 27th at 11 a.m.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'll still need the motion file, please, Mr. Wilson, and just
Yes,
for
sir.
the 27th at 11.
Still plead guilty today, sir, for the other charges?
Well, you just entered your guilty plea.
That's just what I wanted to know.
Yeah, Mr. Hargrove, I'll be to see you.
Commonwealth versus Joshua W. Owen, 20 CR 386, 21 CR 264.
We have agreements.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. I see the paperwork. This in one Commonwealth's offer, I think. There's 264. Yep. I'm missing a Commonwealth's offer in 20 CR 386.
20,
Send those all at the same time, Mr. Johnson?
yeah, I have it. Let me look for it.
I'm sending Emily back to look for it. While she's doing that, I'll go ahead and do some of these preliminary matters. Mr. Owen, would you raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear from the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
Would you please tell me your full name, date of birth, and address?
Joshua William Owen, 628 of 89 and 4131 Clarksville Road, lot 30. I know it's different than the one on there. I moved.
Okay.
Be the 821.
You read and understand everything on the Commonwealth's offer on a plea of guilty form and the motion or guilty plea form in your two cases?
Yes.
Did you hear and understand the rights I read to you at the beginning of court today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you take the Commonwealth's recommendation today and plead guilty, you would be waiving your rights?
Yes.
In case 21 CR 264, the charges are first degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, a class D felony, possession of marijuana, a class B misdemeanor, second degree fleeing or evading police, a class A misdemeanor, and an improper signal violation. In exchange for your guilty plea in that case, Commonwealth is recommending 18 months for the possession of methamphetamine, 45 days for the possession of marijuana, 12 months for the fleeing or evading, and the improper signal would be dismissed. These would all be concurrent for a total of 18 months, consecutive to any other sentence, so that'd be consecutive to 20 CR 386, and forfeit all items seized. Is that your understanding of the agreement in that case?
Yes, but my lawyer was gonna see if we could get my cell phone back that they have taken at some point in my other case.
We're discussing that,
Oh,
working on that.
Oh, okay.
But I thought our agreement was that we were going to go ahead and tender that, but I was going to work with Mr. Mills to try to get the cell phone back to you. But I thought you were fine with agreeing to that.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I agree to it. I thought.
Well, if you agree to it, then Mr. Mills is not obligated to give it back to you.
Right.
Now, honestly, Your Honor, and I may be wrong on this, but I think that his cell phone was taken as a part of a different case that's working its way through. I think he signed an agreed or a rocket docket offer on it, but it's gonna have to get through the case. I'll talk to the officer about returning the cell phone, but that's not part of the agreement on these two. I think it was taken off.
That's correct. Mr. Owen, that's on the rocket docket case he did yesterday.
Okay, sorry about that. I apologize.
And they only seized drugs and paraphernalia on these two cases.
Yeah. All right, I apologize. Good.
Good, that's all right. All right, then, Mr. Owen, then in case 20 CR 386, you're charged with first degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, a D felony, possession of marijuana, B misdemeanor, possession of drug paraphernalia, A misdemeanor. Recommended sentence in this case is 18 months on the methamphetamine, 45 days for the marijuana, 12 months for the paraphernalia. Those would run concurrently for a total of 18 months, again, a consecutive to your other case, for a total sentence of 36 months. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Johnson concerning your charges and any possible defenses to them that you might have?
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak with him now?
No.
Do you believe that Mr. Johnson is aware of all the facts surrounding your case?
Yes.
Cases? Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yes.
Okay, 20 CR 386, how do you wish to plead to the charge? I'm sorry, did you want?
Go ahead. We finish that part, then I would.
Well, I'm getting ready to ask if you want to plead guilty. So do you have anything you want to ask before then?
Is there any way we can reinstate my bond so I can keep trying to get help on the outside?
I'm not going to make any bond decisions today, sir. If Mr. Johnson wanted to file a bond motion, he's free to do that. But frankly, it gets real hard after you plead guilty for me to amend. I'm not going to say it's never done, but I'm not doing it today.
Okay. I do have one thing. Can we have all my sentencing done on June 17th? Because that's when my
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I can tell you what he said, Your Honor. He had a preliminary hearing yesterday. He's going to do the rocket docket on that. He's set for June 17th, the final sentence arraignment or to enter a plea on the rocket docket, June 17th. And I was going to work on trying to speed up that case to get his cases consolidated by the time he's final sentence.
I'm fairly confident we could do that if he's pleading guilty in June.
Yes.
To the other charge. All right, so Mr. Owen, how do you wish to plead? Did you get all the questions you had answered? How do you wish to plead to the charges? First degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia in case 20 CR 386. How do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
In case 21 CR 264, how do you wish to plead to the charges? First degree possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, first offense, possession of marijuana, second degree fleeing or evading police.
Guilty.
Is anyone forcing you or putting any pressure on you to plead guilty against your will?
No.
Have you taken any drugs, medicine, or alcohol today?
No.
Do you have any mental problems now, or have you had any in the past?
No.
Are you pleading guilty today because you did commit these offenses?
Yes.
It's alleged that on March the 12th of 2020, you possessed methamphetamine, syringes, baggies, marijuana, and a digital scale. Is that true?
Correct.
It's also alleged that on February 24th of 2021, you fled from police on foot. You possessed methamphetamine and marijuana.
Correct.
Mr. Johnson, do you know of any reason why Mr. Owen's guilty pleas would not be entered knowingly, voluntarily, or intelligently?
No.
Court does accept the guilty pleas as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered. Sentencing is July the 8th at 9 a.m. We'll see you. Good luck.
Your Honor, Mr. Owen has asked for either drug court or center point. I told him I think we could get at least one, if not both of those lined up, but he would like to be evaluated for drug court.
Very well. I'll have Mr. Owen evaluated for drug court.
Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
You too. All right, Mr. Doss, you there? Scotty Doss, are you still there?
Yes, hold on. Got it. I'm coming. Get on. Hello.
Mr. Doss, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Doss, I've recalled your case here. I'm not going to issue a bench warrant for you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Wilson, what are we doing with Mr. Doss's case?
Judge, I need a good phone number for Mr. Doss. Mr. Doss, how can I get a hold of you?
731 617 0793.
Okay, 731-617-0793.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Judge, I've got a good contact point for Mr. Doss, so now I can convey the offer. I do believe we have an offer in this case to him. If we could get another date, preferably the one in July, I think we'll know whether that's going to get set or settled.
Okay, July the 19th at 9:30. Now, Mr. Doss, on that July the 19th date, or at 1:30,
Yes,
July
sir.
19th at 1:30, I have to be able to see you. So you're going to either have video going or that's pretty much it. You're going to have video going.
All right, sir. I had it going a while ago, but I couldn't talk.
Okay. All right. Well, that's when I'm going to see you back. So we'll need to get those ironed out, those difficulties ironed out before then. Good luck, Mr. Doss.
July 19th at 1:30.
July the 19th at 1:30.
All right, sir. I'll see you then.
Commonwealth versus Jimmy C. Overturf, 21 CR 34.
Judge, this is a similar situation. I've got Mr. Overturf's case. Mr. Overturf, is this a good number, the 270-217-5240? If you're talking, Mr. Overturf, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Is that a good number for you?
Yes, that's my phone number. I just got it here a while back.
Okay. Judge, if we could get the same July 19th date, I think that we can get that squared away by then.
Okay, July the 19th at 1:30. Mr. Overturf, on July the 19th,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have you on video then.
Okay. The Zoom thing. Okay.
Okay, and it'll be on
Yes,
the
sir.
Zoom link.
Okay. Can you give me a date one more time so I can write it down? July
the 19th. And that's
at 1:30.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
is there any?
Mr. I'll get over you tomorrow or Monday, I guess.
Yes, I will reach out to you next week.
Okay, I'll be looking for you. Thank you. Am I dismissed?
Yes, sir, you are. Thanks.
And no bench warrant?
No bench warrant.
Thank you so much, guys. I was sitting there hollering like crazy when. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. You too. All right, is there anyone else online whose name I did not call, who believes they should have heard their name called? We'll give about 10 more seconds for anybody to pipe up. Doesn't look like there is anybody.
Justin Boggs.
He was continued.
Stand by.
Continued. Well, we need to change the June 21st date.
Yeah. Mr. Boggs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your pretrial right now, as it stands, is going to be on July the 19th at 9 a.m. Or actually, let's make it July the 19th at 1:30.
1:30. All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, anybody else? Going once. Going twice. Sold. Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.